when you lay down? I can tell by your face.
Oh, he knows.
By your face, Toby. Bark.
Dennis, buy yourself an iPad mini.
Oh. I wanted to get my mom one. And I'm gonna have to start saving up for a new laptop anyway.
Well, we at Apple introduced a whole new set of shit while the apocalypse.
What's the name of that you're using?
Voice memo is what I found on there.
And that's one you're also using, right?
I haven't opened up your iPad yet.
Your booty wiggles.
Let me find it.
Oh, wiggle a booty. Oh, don't fight me. Wiggle a booty.
Voice memo. There are 2 recordings in your voice memo. Jerome app, Jerome app 2.
I just want to make sure we're all using the same app.
Ooh, I can hear that. Can
I
you
hear
hear me?
stuff. Can you hear me? Toby, say something. Speak, Toby. Toby, speak.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. No, Toby. No, Toby. I can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear Dennis.
Yep. You just gonna lick my face? Is that what you're gonna do?
Is anyone else hot?
No.
My mic is hot.
Can you hear my mic at all?
No, I can hear you. Is it on?
Yeah.
We'll start this like today. Does your device have power?
I don't know.
Tap on the mic itself. No.
Oh.
Would you mind please turning off your mic and then restarting it all
Is it
together?
on?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Tap, tap, tap.
disconnect it, reconnect it?
Is this the bad one? Because we had a problem.
Oh, that's right. Did we get rid of it? I thought we should have gotten rid of it. We didn't get rid of it?
You don't throw things out.
If you chose to.
Okay. I thought it was the cable.
No, it was one of the microphones.
Oh.
You throw out the microphone?
No.
Pearls are clutched.
Dennis, when you press the little circle on your iPad,
I pressed it.
press it hard.
La
Too
la
hard.
la 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 la
Press it again.
la.
That's it, press it hard.
Press it again. There.
What happened?
You will need to press the little red button.
Now?
Yeah, there you go. Toby, excuse me. Oh, I know why.
No. Toby. Toby. Asuka. Asuka. Tosoki.
Anything?
Yeah, I hear me. I don't hear you.
Okay, babe. Still nothing.
Not nothing.
I have the purplish cable.
Purple. Try it now. I hear something. I hear it now.
You
It was a bad connection.
get on out there. Like a pest. Don't look at me sadly. You can't be here. I need to sit here so I can record.
What's that?
I know.
I
What
have
am I gonna do?
started the voiced
Oh,
memos.
goodness.
Still alive. I can see my
I can see clearly now.
levels.
The
I'll
rain
look
is
at the
gone.
lines.
Are there any particular things I'm supposed to do to this thing?
So what thing?
The voice memos.
Did you start recording?
Yes.
Do you see little lines?
Yes.
Faint little lines.
Do you see little lines? Like this?
No. That's what I'm telling you, like super faint. But I don't know what setup you had on this thing.
I don't have any setup.
This It's not hearing you.
Do.
Is your lab mic plugged in?
Speak. Well, not do that. Talk
Hello,
normally.
hello.
Say,
Talk normally.
Hello.
say citation.
Citation.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
You just need to unplug and replug your whole life.
Jesus.
Cheeses?
Yes, Cheez-Its.
You need to get your equipment.
Get your life.
That's right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ahsoka, could you keep it down?
The only way to keep it down is if...
She goes to sleep.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty uncomfortable episode for me because it's super low.
No, it'll be fine.
It's going to be uncomfortable because I said so.
Do we have another little box?
No, not easily available. Ahsoka, this is not going to work. She defloofed Boba.
Philosophy of Coffee.
Yes, it's a good book actually. It's quite interesting. I read it sometimes. When I'm
Video. Severe weather. And then it timed out so I couldn't see.
testing. Oh Jesus! He's like my blanket. Testing.
Testing.
Motherfucker.
Testicles.
That's right.
Wow, that's extreme.
Yes. Gonad.
In strife.
That's right.
Strife. And strife. Not strife.
Strife.
I hate all of you.
Bellies.
Mont bleu.
Bellies. Mont bleu.
Mont bleu.
Diable.
Diable. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Incroyable podcast.
Old Books Podcast.
Our Books podcast. Sometimes called the...
No, nothing.
Nothing else?
No.
I believe there are.
No. There's just old books, and we read old books and talk about
That's
them.
right. You have been welcomed by the Three Musketeers of the podcast world.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know which one I am.
Well, I know which one you are.
Which one is that?
No, well, you're not a musketeer. That's
What?
the one. You're.
Who am I?
Ah, shit.
Are you
What's-
the cardinal?
No. What's the name of the guy that manages the Three Musketeers? The one
Oh,
that just
that
had the conversation with the cardinal and the king.
You're the name guy.
Yeah, you're that guy.
You always have the notes. The
Okay.
names.
Yeah. Gotta. The captain of the Musketeers.
Yeah,
Yes.
it starts with a T, I think.
It is.
Trub,
a T.
Trub, something.
Trub. Give me a moment.
No,
No,
you're supposed to have this ready.
that's right.
Well,
Also-
while I get this, who are you?
I don't know who I am. But.
Which one was the Abbé? Was it Aramis?
Yes. The one that's always quiet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Aramis.
I don't think that
That's the
qualifies me, but because I'm quite talky.
Yeah, you are talking.
Yeah.
Why?
Monsieur Treville.
Yes, that's what.
Yeah, that guy. You're that guy.
Yeah.
The way he handled that conversation with the Pope and with the Cardinal and the King to get his musketeer out of jail without going through full trial,
That's right.
that was some straight up like you level conversation.
That's right.
You have to make them believe it's their idea. It's
That's
great.
right.
No, not that. Just like, well, like, what got me was the very passive piece at the end where he's like, well, you know, once this gets into the public, the media's gonna have a frenzy with it, basically. And they're like, what do you mean? With the police, what? And he's like, well, you know, once you send a musketeer through the justice system, you're saying this thing, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, no. That's definitely how you'd handle that conversation.
Much pearls were clutched. Yes.
Yes. By the way, we read Three Musketeers.
We're reading Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas.
Dumas.
Yes.
And we're reading the first 15 chapters,
Yes.
which I am thoroughly enjoying.
Yes. It's quite good.
What do you guys think?
I'm
So
definitely not a D'Artagnan.
So the start of it was a little, because in my mindset I'm coming in thinking Count of Monte Cristo, same vibes. The start wasn't quite there
No.
because, you know, D'Artagnan.
Yes.
I don't think I like him.
No.
Which
No.
one is that one?
The kid.
D'Artagnan is the upstart child who wants to be.
D'Artagnan. I didn't
D'Artagnan,
recognize
yeah.
it without the accent.
Oh, D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
I mean,
no. Snoring pooch.
We're gonna have so much fun with these names.
he at all times is just picking a fight
Yes.
to pick a fight about the fight
No.
that he picked a fight
Nope.
that was picked a fight
Yes.
because someone looked at his pony wrong.
All I'm saying is, you started a fight with all three
Right.
the Musketeers at the same time.
He's got a name to prove.
Yep.
Which I think is funny because
right.
on one hand, he's like ready to pull swords with anybody who
That's
even
right.
like coughs in his general
right.
direction. And then by the 14th chapter, I think, or something, he's like, well, I don't know how to handle this because I don't have a name for myself. And how do I, like, all of you guys are already well respected. How do I handle this
the name
situation?
he really wants is Inoue Montoya.
What's that?
He killed his father, and now you must die.
I don't know that one.
You know that.
No.
Yes.
She doesn't.
Who's
Yes,
that?
You know. You just don't recall.
Probably, but that still means I don't know in this
There's
moment.
there's a movie that
Mhm.
we've all liked, and
Mhm.
we were all of age to like this movie.
Yes.
And it was called,
Yes.
is it Princess Bride?
I didn't see
She
that.
hasn't watched
You've
it.
never seen the Princess
No.
Bride? I've heard you made that reference.
No, you haven't.
I heard.
Because I've never.
Then I know an equally beautiful woman with the same same sense of humor.
Oh, well, thanks, I think, but I haven't seen it.
What do you want? No. Now
She
you love
wants-
me?
she
No.
wants-
I will not be loved by you now.
I've at one point tried to explain what the movie's about,
Uh-huh.
and then when I kind of tell her it's one of those quintessential movies
Yes.
from our time period,
Yes.
she immediately starts running away because she hates all of those movies.
How dare you?
I'm not a huge fan of punny movies.
How dare you?
I know.
It's inconceivable.
I know.
Inconceivable.
Book.
First tangent already.
I hate all of them.
Welcome to the Tangent Podcast.
No. No. I quit.
So yeah, I don't remember ever, because I didn't read this book.
Mm-hmm.
I've been associated to it through movies
The
and
movies, yes.
all those things,
Mhm. I don't think I've even seen any of the movies.
and I don't think D'Artagnan
Yeah.
D'Artagnan.
was this. Like, he is so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, oh, he's leaving his father's home, and
Yes.
his mother's allowed to cry because that's what women do.
That's
Oh,
right.
yes.
But his dad is just stern while giving him advice, and
Yes.
he's teary-eyed but not
Men may only
crying.
cry the tears of another man's blood. That's right.
So already you're getting all this. You're like, oh, okay.
It's like, I will not leak, but you will.
And then and I don't know if anyone else caught this, but he's like, this horse that my father's so proud of, and it means everything to him, but it's off-colored yellow.
Yes.
So the first place he shows up, people's pointing at his off-color yellow horse.
Yeah, nobody wants a yellow horse.
But he did mention initially that he took it, but he begrudgingly almost. 'Cause He,
That's
he
right.
knew
So-
that it was going to cause trouble.
So the off-color yellow horse starts a fight, but he has to defend it because as he's saying while starting this fight that it's his gift from his father and it means everything to him.
That's right.
But then he gets to Paris, he's like, alright, don't need the horse, so
Yeah, basically. I
So-
was like,
yo.
but the last chapter you were talking about, well, like they were saying, like the father's like, this is the most meaningful thing in the whole world.
That's right.
It's like practically like their prized possession is his fucking
Right.
horse.
Right.
And then he goes and
My
sells
horse.
it. I'm like,
It
yo,
looks like my father's urine. Yes.
I'm hurt by this gesture that you would sell.
Right, that's why I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this D'Artagnan guy. And as it keeps going, it's like,
Yes.
I'm surprised at how good he duels. And I don't know if he's just kind of like, because he's bested every single person so
And
far.
including one of the best swordsmen of France.
Right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
well,
And what do we make of this character with the scar on his face? And the pretty teeth?
And the wonderful hair.
Mm-hmm.
well, he's also, he has a dark complexion.
Mhm.
I assume because it's France, it just means tan.
Yeah.
But I like to think, oh, there's a black guy there?
Yeah. That always messed with
No.
me, like when I read or saw somebody say like tall, dark, and handsome. It's like, well, we're talking about white people. How could they be? I was like tall and handsome, yes. But how could one be dark if one is white?
Because he has a tan.
He has a tan.
So, if you remember, that guy never actually got to fight him, but he was prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I assume he's gonna be the guy who humbles our young friend.
Mm-hmm. Well, you already got a warning from this dude.
To not approach him.
yeah.
He's like, you can get your ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And they've seen him fight and still gave him that warning.
That's right.
And I think it's because when they describe his fighting,
He's just like all over the place.
one of the things he has, which everyone kind of mentions when they see him, he's young.
Mhm.
He's so much faster.
Yes.
Hang on.
So, Toby's
I'm
growling
waiting
at
to see
Ahsoka.
if Toby snaps.
As he will.
Yeah, but if he snaps over, So what's happening?
Oh, play by
Is
play.
that Ahsoka is close to Toby,
Trying to open the fridge.
trying to open the fridge because I guess she wants some beer.
From the wrong side.
Well, she doesn't know.
She doesn't not know.
You're right. Anyway, go ahead.
So like everything about him is so far kind of annoying. And then I like how we meet the Musketeers,
Mm-hmm.
kind of piece by piece.
Yes.
And then you probably weren't as amused by this,
Why?
but when he meets Athos
Yes.
and Porthos,
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't meet Aramis
No.
immediately, right? Or is it the other way around?
Aramis had been wounded, right?
Right. I
So
believe.
he wasn't there at the time.
So when he meets those two,
Mm-hmm.
the description they use for them would be amusing to us because we're reading the Odyssey
Ah.
and
Right. Oh, Ajax.
Ajax,
And, yeah.
which are two of the generals, the Greek generals.
Oh, okay.
Ajax being the giant guy.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, I actually
Mhm.
get that reference now.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't
I'm not
know.
mad at you for reading other books without me. I'm not mad
We're
at all.
taking a class.
No, I
It's
understand.
required
I
reading.
understand.
I promise this is
No,
a
no, no.
outside
It's-
party thing. Aw.
Let's not go off on a tangent. We know how you hate that.
No food for you, Dennis. We are not feeding you today. You will watch us eat delicious food without you.
I actually want to read the Odyssey.
It's good.
Oh, you can sign up for that class though.
Yeah,
I don't know about classes.
it's good.
It's good.
Anyway,
School in the summertime.
so yeah, so that was fun. Hearing the little comparison to the Trojan
Right.
Ajax. Who are
Yes.
the other two characters? Menelaus, I think you mentioned.
Well, at first he only talks about Ajax as.
Porthos?
Isn't Porthos the small fat one? Or the smaller one?
Small fountain.
Well, one of them is shorter than the
Oh,
other
now,
two.
oh, now you want lovies? No,
And-
no lovies for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, because one is super tall, that's the Ajax one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think,
Okay, wait.
I can't remember the exact reference now.
She's gonna undo the whole table. Oh, you came over here to grow? Toby! Back! I'm mad you left this bed and came over growl in her face.
That's right. It's like, I will not be ignored. Esteban's looking up a name because he's our current name scribe.
No. No, he got up and she took his bed. And now he's looking over like, what the
Yep.
deuce?
Yeah, that you snooze, you lose.
Yeah, you got up to grow and you lost your
That's
spot,
right.
buddy.
That's right. It was all the plot, Toby. That's
oh,
what
wait a
happens.
minute.
It's a
Derp,
lot of dead air. Let's talk about something.
derp,
Derp.
derp,
That's right.
a derp.
After she yelled at us about the iPad.
Okay, well, that's if we were monitoring from this,
This
but
is
we're
not
not.
going into the recording. Can we talk about something else? Let's find a tangent to go off on, so we can at least fill the air.
Okay.
I can still be mad at you if it'll help.
No. Being mad is not a necessity.
So D'Artagnan has met
Yes,
Porthos and Aramis. No, Porthos and Athos.
and Athos, yes. He's,
Yeah.
he talks about approaching
Yes.
the Musketeers, because his father, amongst other than the horse, also gave him a letter,
Yes.
which is now missing.
Yes.
So he's
Yeah, I really wonder where the letter went.
That's right.
well. It's interesting because they bring it up later, and none of them believe that the guy who whooped his
gentleman?
ass
Mm-hmm.
would have stolen the letter,
Right.
because a gentleman wouldn't steal.
No. We might kill you.
He might
We
kill
will
you,
not steal from you.
might disgrace you, might
It's
do all kind of
unbecoming.
horrible shit to you.
Do you really think that people died as often as they make it seem in these books? Like people just like unleashing swords on each other down every alleyway and
I think so because they even like if we do believe that the cardinal felt it necessary to make an edict that you cannot no longer dueling was no longer, even though it's still gentlemanly, not
Right.
allowed.
Right.
I think it would be that kind of thing, and
That's
it's
crazy.
and if we take into account like all the things we've heard in different books we've read that all take place in France and things like that like a disgrace, whatever it was,
Would require.
will require it's like now I have to kill you
Right.
because you've I've had I must save face,
Mm-hmm.
so you must have no heart,
Right.
so that I must save face.
Right.
That's right. The only way to replace the piece of my face you've disgraced was to cover it with my heart.
Oh.
That's right.
Hey, you over there with the phone. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
Just a line, but you can say things.
No, we're all waiting for you.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
This is going to take me a while.
You're drawing
What
all the
line are you
attention of our
looking for?
viewers.
I wanted to know which are the Greeks he
Oh.
referred them to.
Oh.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom-noms. You again with the wires.
What do we think about the whole situation with the lady that went missing and then she's found? D'Artagnan finds her like wandering the streets at night and.
I think she's quite irresponsible.
Why?
Because she got lost.
She didn't get lost.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
She wasn't found.
Well, I'm not entirely certain.
Well, tell me what you think.
I don't know. The whole thing is obviously meant to seem kind of sketchy. Like
Yes.
we don't know who she's in league with or what she's really doing, whose side she's on. Because apparently there are two sides. There's that of the cardinal and that of the king.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to live in France in this time. There's a
Me
lot of
neither.
intrigue, a lot of
Yeah, that's just
a lot
like
of secrets.
She's on the third side.
There's a third side.
her own. The queen.
The queen.
Oh.
What?
Am I the only one who read that part?
No,
No.
We all read it, but
Yeah.
I'm adding sounds for the listeners.
No. I'm like, oh.
Ah. Oh, tell me more.
It's a very dramatic book. We have to be dramatic about our interpretations of it.
Oh, ma foi.
That's right.
No.
We have to look those things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I asked them. I also wanted to know how much a French.
I know what merit means.
No. What's the currency they keep giving out?
Oh,
The cardinal gives the 100, not pesos.
no. He would not give those out.
Completely different cardinal.
Trying to remember the name of the damned. My memory is failing me.
French currency. Trying to think of it. It's not coming to me right now.
Yeah, I mean, it apparently that was okay. So what do you think about the whole piece on how men are fancy but they live off of the purses of the women
Yes.
and the whole thing? I will say that every time they talk about women in an objective kind of way, it like irritates me a little bit.
Why?
Because it's horrible, but it is part of the time. What?
Pistol.
Pistole, yes. How much is a pistole compared to an American dollar?
Well, at this time, I don't even know if there's an American currency. We're probably still using
Okay,
it now.
so fine, a book. What was the thing that they were saying? And that's how you make money in America at that time? Bookstores? What was it, Moby Dick? No. What book was that when they were saying that?
Not sure.
Oh well.
So the pistol is a Spanish gold coin. Okay.
But does it say how much it's worth? Or what it would be equivalent to today?
No.
Oh, interesting.
That's your homework.
No, I don't want homework.
No, not
I
for
mean,
you.
there-
For him.
Okay.
Well, there's a Wikipedia thing I could click on that
Of
would
course.
probably tell me.
That's right. That's why we have the internet, so we don't have to wonder anything.
Alright.
I will not wonder.
I do not want to wait to
That's
find
right.
out when
That's
I could
right.
find out now.
I will avoid saying something about Dawson's Creek.
What?
People will
Dawson's
understand it. You will not,
Oh,
because
okay.
you're not
So-
pop
so-
savvy.
So here's to make this better for you guys.
Yes.
Oh no.
One pistole was worth approximately 10 livres,
Okay, that's
Great.
nothing.
right? Or 3 écus,
You lost me.
right? But higher figures have been seen.
Okay.
This is what Wikipedia wanted to tell me.
Yeah,
Remember to mention that to the mic as well, because
that's
you're.
right.
Wikipedia would like you to know that one pistole is worth approximately 10 livres.
Livres?
I forget how they say it. Or 3 écus.
Mhm.
But higher figures have been seen.
What do higher figures mean? Like one
Meaning
pistol
that-
is worth more than that?
Meaning
Right.
some people estimated that it was worth more, or it might have given you more.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's like, since it's saying it's a Spanish coin, then
Mhm.
clearly it's
Yeah, there was probably no.
euro at the time.
No, meaning not just your one like one currency, but there was probably no body that was saying this is what this is worth.
Right.
To this,
like,
what
yeah,
is this,
centralized
like what we have now.
government
We have
thing.
like we have exchanges and things like that where it's like, okay, this is what this is worth now, today, because of this, because of that.
As for the woman that you asked about,
Is she up to something?
well, she's clearly working for the queen,
Yes.
or
And she says she's a seamstress?
or the queen hopes she's working for her.
Right.
I think is a better way to put it. Well, her uncle is someone who's close to the queen, and the way her husband describes it to everyone,
Yes.
and her husband, weak-spined little man,
Yes.
the way he described it, he's like, her uncle wanted to get a lady friend for the queen,
No.
so he brought in his niece to be her seamstress / friend.
Yes.
Already I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I caught that too because I'm like,
So he wants her to talk to somebody? That's already kind of...
So
I took that a different way.
In these times, I don't know how much you guys have done the history of this time and stuff like this. But my mom and I watch a lot of British shows. She watches a lot of I watch Masterpiece. She watches those type of shows, but that a lot of those British shows that were about the time period. Period pieces about this royalist kind of thing. So what you would do is to affect your own ambitions to make sure you rise in society. You would have if you were of status, you would say to the queen, "Oh, you need a new handmaiden. You need somebody who could take care of things for you because as a royal you can't be doing your own things." So it's like who's gonna take care, make sure I have everything I need. Who's gonna speak to the servants and things on my stead?
Right.
Because I shouldn't be saying too much.
Right.
That sort of thing. So you would have a person like you're a duke or whatever, or one of your cousins would be like, well, what about this person? And then by them putting this person in, you have an ear to the queen.
Got it.
You have the queen is hearing you through someone else. So it's not very. It's subtle. It's a subtle way of saying, well, I know of this person, and they would love and they could do this for you and they could do that for you. It'd be this would be advantageous to that. So it's like a way of sneaking somebody's DMs in old days, like that sort of thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
I took it another way because the way that they made it sounded almost like she needed a low-key lover, or a woman to keep her busy.
No.
That would be untoward.
What the woman is, or what she's making it seem right now, she's her
confidant.
I wouldn't even call her that. She's the messenger.
She too.
She is the DM message to the Duke.
Got it.
Because if you remember, when they're questioning her husband, he's like, yeah, every time I pick her out after work, we would go to these tapery places, and I would just stay outside.
Right.
And they were in these two parts of town, but I always thought it was weird that they had no signage that said they were tapery places. But it's cool. I just stood there. And the cardinal's looking at him like, you dumb mother.
Yep.
I mean, he calls him an idiot.
Right.
Get this idiot out of here.
Well, he's the cardinal. He's basically, God's king. He's like God's duke or whatever. It's like, if you're the Pope, Pope is basically king in Europe without being king.
Right.
He's like, I don't own no land or nothing, but I run all this.
What do we think about the mysterious gentleman?
He's quite mysterious.
Yes, I know. And he is really good at hiding.
Yes.
Oh, the guy who keeps running away from D'Artagnan?
Yeah. With the beautiful teeth and the scar on his face.
That's right. I think he's accountant.
Well, we got to finally hear him speak.
I think we've gone into.
He's the one professing his love?
No.
No, who's the one that's professing his love?
That's the Duke.
I guess.
Yeah.
The Duke of Buckingham?
Ah.
Right.
They professes his love for the Queen. We get, 2 chapters of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to the first part, and then when I went back, I'd forgotten who was talking, but I just kept listening to it because it was just endless amounts of profession of love, and I was like, I can't wait to get over this.
So the narrator here is pretty good.
Yeah, he's good.
So, pardon me, but it feels like he's licking my ears sometimes. So it's like I'm sitting in a chair, during treatment, listening to this stuff, and it's sometimes it's like I'm nodding off, and it's like, oh, I gotta really listen to this chapter again. So I can make sure I'm up on it.
Yeah, no, there's
So-
like 2 chapters of just to the point where
Chapter,
he
where is it, like 13, 14, and 15?
something like that, and to the point where he's like he seems to misunderstand what she says, or when she says something that alludes to like if she wasn't in her position she would love him.
Yes.
And then when he jumps, like when he goes on it all, and he's like, "Oh, then say it's true and tell me you'd love me, because then I could live." And she goes, "No," and then he goes, "No, don't correct me if I'm wrong." And I'm like, come on, man, like.
So
He's like, I need to live with the idea that you actually care about me, because that's worth living.
Right,
But if I'm wrong, I don't need to know that.
right.
And he's like,
I need to know that you. I need to believe that you love me.
he likes his illusion.
yes.
Yeah.
The
I've
other
been there.
the other thing he alludes to is that she ain't getting rid of him.
No.
He said basically just us talking. This has started a war.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But no one can prove it. But we're starting a war anyways.
Yep.
And it's gonna get so bad that even after all this is done, when we have to sign treaties, because I'm the Duke, I'm the one they're gonna send to do the treaties, and I'm gonna see you again. And the whole time thinking like, this guy's okay with thousands of people dying.
This
Just
is
so-
not him.
That's
It's
right.
so far removed
right.
that he doesn't. He
That's
doesn't
right.
know what that feels like or what that's like. He's like, oh, that's
That's
why.
right.
Are you? Listening?
So, a lot of these people are kind of douchebags.
Yes.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
let's go back to our boy D'Artagnan,
Oh
Yes.
no.
where he's professing his love for this lady he just met,
Yeah.
who is married,
Yes.
whose husband he just made a promise to protect him,
Right.
and then hands him over to the cops.
That's right.
Yep. Oh, and
I'm like, Jesus.
yeah, and then the narrator is like, at some point the book is like, we although D'Artagnan seems to have forgotten about the
won't.
gentleman, we'll probably return to him later. And then they show up, right? They show up in D'Artagnan's house. They tell the musketeer
Athos?
Athos. You are D'Artagnan. Now he goes, am I? And then they arrest him.
Yes.
And then he shows up in the
Because
court.
he never denies it.
Right, but he also is just like, okay, let's see where this goes. Because at the end of the day, if they arrest him, they're in fault.
Right.
Which gives that, like him and the Musketeers, a +1. So
Yes.
he's probably thinking this.
Yes. But also, we also know that in France, it doesn't take much to lock you up. Forever.
Right.
Forever.
Right. I was wondering if they were going to talk about the prison.
Yeah.
If they were going to.
Oh, I forgot the name. What was it called again?
In Marseille?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that prison.
Bastille?
The Bastille, yes.
Yeah.
But dude does name like 5 different places they do executions.
Yep.
Depending on your status in the world.
I could just imagine he's like passing the first one is like as they drive by, and the next one is even worse, like even more tension, and then they drive by and he's like, oh,
But
yeah.
I can't be killed here. This is the worst one.
What did my wife do?
And it's like, I have several goats. This is not the prison for me.
Right, like I'm listening to it, he's like, this is where they imprison political prisoners.
Mhm.
Oh, we drove by it. This is where they imprison da-da-da. Okay, we drove by it. Oh man, this is where they kill the slums? I'm a slum? It's like, damn. Like even, like I get it. You're gonna die. It's his
we
thought
don't
process.
wanna- yeah.
But he wants to die in the right place.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like, man, can we go back
Because you
there?
know they're gonna talk about it afterward, right? They're gonna be like, yeah, that guy, they took him to the slum prison in jail. They don't want that.
It's like, it must be like getting killed. The difference between being killed by a stormtrooper and being killed by Vader.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh goodness!
Yeah,
If you got
it's
killed by a stormtrooper, I'm sorry.
It's like
You were wearing
you
a
can
red
get killed
shirt.
by a stormtrooper by accident because they don't even shoot well.
Right.
It's like,
But wait, where was I going with this?
Oh, no.
All right. So
Yeah.
so he's all like, he loves this woman.
yes.
He's like, and he's basically forgotten that he promised to save her husband. And he's like, it's okay.
That's right.
It's all okay, He's like, and he admits it in his thoughts. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm her lover.
That's right.
She doesn't know it,
No.
Yeah.
but I'm her lover. I was like, dude.
I mean, that's how manifestation works, right? You live in
That's right.
and you live the life that you want,
That's right.
even if the other person don't know it yet.
And
just,
then he's
just
like,
for the job you want, not the
Yeah,
job
exactly,
you have.
exactly.
and then he's like talking about like, yeah, it'll be great taking her to dinner, me and the boys. I'm like, yo.
Oh yeah, what did we think about the whole scene where they're like dwindling away their money, and then I thought it was actually a good idea, which I pocketed away. It's like, be really good and feed those when you can, so that you can grab dinner by them when you need it. I said, okay, got that.
Well, that's the crazy thing is, like, first, they all fed each other.
Yeah.
But then, they all showed up to places where people owed them and brought everybody along.
And not just the core four. The core four and their entourage.
That's right.
That is crazy.
That's right.
Could you imagine you invite, like, one dude and he shows up with 16? You're like, what's going on here? But yeah, this is my posse.
Oh, you've never been to one of my family weddings?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the way that works. It's like you had a +1, and it's like, so why is there a van outside?
Because they're hungry.
Yeah.
There was something else.
It was interesting that he felt embarrassed that he could only get them one free dinner, even though for the first month he was paying with those 40 pistoles that the king gave him.
Right.
But he forgot about that.
Well, he didn't. He didn't forget.
No. It says that he forgot about that because he wanted to be able to take them to places to get fed. And I'm like, wait, so he's upset that more people don't owe him?
Yes.
So he can't mooch with his friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then
because in a way, that's its own version of like a chest pounding, like, oh, well, I have 6 people I can eat by tonight or this week.
That's right.
And like he points out, like Aramis took them to like 8 places because he's the quiet guy that no one's angry at, that everyone respects, so everybody invites him.
Oh, that's the thing. The whole conversation when the 3 Musketeers are in D'Artagnan's home in his apartment, and the landlord shows up, and then the guards come to arrest him. And then there's a whole conversation back and forth between the Musketeers and D'Artagnan. Athos, it wasn't Athos, it was Porthos.
Porthos is the
who
idiot.
Didn't see, didn't understand the conversation. What did you guys get out of the conversation?
The point that I think they're alluding to, like Dennis said, if you go to prison, you can disappear.
Yes.
Normally when they're having their little duels and shit, they're having their duels against the Cardinal's Musketeers.
Yes.
But these were actually officers.
Yes.
So if they were to duel them, these guys would have the right to actually arrest them.
Yes.
Especially if they have a reason to arrest this man.
Yes.
Right.
So not wanting to start a fight with these guys is pretty smart.
Yeah.
Which
it's a strange combination. I'm not to cut you off, but it's a strange thing to have 2 forces that were there to maintain order, and they're like up against each other.
Like almost like a chess game. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Like we work directly for the king. We're the Musketeers. It's like, but the Cardinal, who's holds sway in this town as well,
has his own.
manpower. And it's
Right.
like, who's worse to be up against? Are you up against the Cardinal, or are you up against the king? And it's like either way, it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Right.
So now in this situation, the third group, the actual law shows up. So he takes the wise thing. He's like, listen, just let them arrest you now.
Yes.
Because if we don't piss them off anymore, we might be able to get you out. And you want me to investigate. So if I get arrested, I ain't investigating shit from... Porthos on the head's like, yo, let's fuck these niggas up. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
And
Always.
everyone's like, no. He said, they're right there. It's 4-on-4. We can murder them.
Yep.
They're like, no, we murder them, more will come.
Yes.
And he doesn't get it. And like the other 3 are just like, you an idiot.
Yes.
Yeah. And
they
they don't even bother to explain.
No, they just tell him.
What do you think they're gonna do with the name? Because he was very peculiar. He was very like that was an extra step that he didn't need to take to say let's cheer to you for obscuring for taking this guy. What's your name there? And that I wonder what they're gonna do with that.
Again, it's that whole they have an in.
Yes.
Right.
So if they were to, for some reason, actually decide to go to prison, look for someone, they can go to this guy. And this guy's going to recognize that. They're like, that's that cool dude.
That's true.
He turned that schmuck over. Come on through. But,
Yes. D'Artagnan is quite ratchet. And
yes.
We don't need that.
What you mean?
D'Artagnan is always full of smoke. He always wants to start a fight.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not saying it's I wouldn't count that against him. Sometimes you just have to be the dude that's like always ready to start a fight. But like sometimes it's like the 3 people you were trying to meet so they could help you get a job. You gonna fight them first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're after your guy.
Yeah.
And they're in your way.
Yeah.
So.
Right, that's how I was trying to remember, how did he start the fight? It's because he was literally being rude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mad rude.
Yes.
But he's a Gascon, so he probably didn't realize he was being rude.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either,
He's from the town of Gascony.
But
oh, that's it?
I do know what what it does mean is that you only apologize once, apparently.
Yes.
And then that's it. You don't
That's
have to
right.
apologize again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, it's a fight.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like the...
Comes from a ratchet town.
It was Athos?
Yes.
With the handkerchief?
What does it do with the handkerchief?
So, I think, like, women used to give handkerchiefs as, like, a token of, like, affection.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here, you hold that.
Yeah, it's got my perfume.
That's right. It smells like me.
And
Sniff on that little bit.
as they state, they also have the coat of arms on it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can literally know who gave him the handkerchief.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular handkerchief, the reason why Athos was pretty much ready to slit his throat at that point,
Yep.
we learn later when the girl is roaming around in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
is the handkerchief that they're using for their secret messages.
Yes.
Because remember, she
Right,
shows
'cause
her,
she's the same one.
and then the other girl shows her the same one.
Right.
So clearly, even though Athos hasn't said much,
He's in with some shit.
this motherfucker knows more than he's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
he's just like what handkerchief? I don't know what you're talking about. Because remember what he said? He's like, there's a handkerchief on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, your foot was on it, so I thought it was yours. He's like, did you see it fall from my pocket? No,
Well, he
no,
did, didn't he?
no,
He did.
he didn't.
I
He
thought
just
he did.
he just saw him step on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he assumed he fell from
From
his
his
pocket.
pocket, which it probably did. Now that we get a little further, we're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
it did. Yeah.
Because he asked him, he's like, did you see it fall from my pocket? And he's like, oh, no, but you stepped
I thought
on
that
it.
he did though.
Well, he tells him, he's like, no, but you stepped on it. He's like, yeah, I stepped on it. But did you see it fall from my pocket? No, right. But you stepped on it. He's like, yeah, so it wouldn't go flying off. But why would you step on it?
Yep.
Because who knows what would happen if it went flying
That's right.
off.
Will you move the mic so that you're
To the left.
there? Thank you.
There you go.
Don't give me faces. Asshole. Now that we're more than halfway through.
What was the other one?
I have a sleeping dog on my lap.
When they finally get into that wonderful duel,
Yes.
and
Wait, the first one where he sides himself with the.
the Musketeers, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that,
That he was giving the out and he didn't take it.
right, he was giving it, he didn't take it, he
Mhm.
decided to join them.
Yes.
Right.
And then as the fight is happening, again, it's like, it's a fight,
Yes.
and he's murdering his guy,
Yeah.
and Aramis, we know has been injured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he had what? A piercing through the shoulder, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But what we didn't know beforehand until he actually, because remember, he's about to duel Aramis before all this goes down.
Yep. He's about to do all three of them.
Aramis saw him, he's like, oh, no, it's cool, because I can act, I'm ambidextrous.
Yeah.
I can fight with either hand.
Mm-hmm.
That
The worst for you because
Yeah.
most people don't know how to fight
Fights
someone who's
like
left.
a left-handed swordsman. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because even though he does have that advantage, Aramis is struggling a little bit because he is wounded, he's
Mhm.
bleeding, he's
Mhm.
tired, but he won't call for help during the fight.
No.
But he gives him the look.
He gives him the look like, be like, I don't need help, but
Yeah.
if you were to come and stab this guy,
That's right.
I'm not going to be angry about it.
Yeah.
And see, I don't think with the look. I think the look was because at that point we're kind of hearing it more from like D'Artagnan's point of view, right?
Yes.
And they go through the trouble of saying that as he's just bested his opponent, he kind of has the right to decide where he's gonna go.
Yeah. He can go and help somebody else.
Right. But at that point, I think there was more of a discussion on like what the gentlemanly thing or the
Yes.
proper
Right, the
thing
proper
to do.
thing.
Yes.
So like it's like I'm not asking for help, nor will I ever tell you that I looked at you. But you know that the gentlemanly thing to do is
Yes.
to come help
Yes.
me.
That's right.
And so he goes over, which I was like, oh, that's
Mm.
funny. They gave him that head nod. I could like, yo,
Yeah,
you
that's
coming through?
I'm not saying nothing, but I'm not saying it. How was your nap, Toby?
Right.
And then, of course, the king, when we first meet him, is angry.
Yes, of course.
He's always angry.
But he's angry because his musketeers
Mm-hmm.
got arrested.
Yes.
Not because they did something to get arrested.
Yes.
Because they got arrested.
Yep.
He's like, how are people supposed to fear the king if his musketeers can get arrested?
Yep.
And I don't want to hear an excuse that it was 12 to 5.
Right.
Yeah, I should have killed those 12.
That's right.
So, of course, then you get this fight with with D'Artagnan and this guy's, and they're like, yo, we did right. We killed a couple of them, but we didn't start the fight.
Yes.
That's their point. We didn't start it, but we finished.
Yes. The king would find himself very easily fitting in on Twitch. It's like, I'm not playing either of these games, and I'm not a winner or a loser. I'm a spectator, but I still wanted you to win. You should have won faster. You should have won quicker.
Well, because they're in the streets, they're repping the king.
That's
so they
right.
gotta look good. They
That's
can't
right.
be out here losing, because
That's
that means the king is a loser. Nobody
right.
wants that.
They're noobs, and I will not have you losing
Right.
to noobs.
Right.
So he's like, they're like, it's D'Artagnan, yeah. Oh, word, yeah. Here's some money,
Yeah.
but I ain't giving you a job yet.
Right.
They send him to be a guardsman somewhere,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then the way these guys hang out is ridiculous. Because if I'm the guy who has just inherited D'Artagnan as my guardsman,
Yeah.
and every time he shows up for work, 3 Musketeers show up with him, I'm like, wow, I'm paying one guy and I get 4?
That's right.
Yeah.
Deal!
That's right.
Yep.
Just because they hang out with each other at work.
Yeah, I feel like these 3 are kind of like the 501st from Star Wars. They're kind of like a group, like a motley group of people that don't really care for social norms so long as it, like, beyond the realm as it pertains to them for food. But like, because you never hear them
Super
going to
loyal.
social gatherings. You never see them hitting up like balls or anything. But I'm sure they could if they wanted to,
Yeah,
because
but
they're
they have each other,
musketeers,
I think.
right? So they all kind of, because when you hear about them, like, one of them hardly ever talks, doesn't like talking about women. One of them talks too much, is always talking about women.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the other one that's dumb. It's just like, who, like, they don't seem like they'd get on well, but I think they group together because they're all kind of
Right.
Yeah.
oddballs almost, which is kind of nice.
Well,
See, I'm trying not to read. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to read into this because of the movies and stuff. You know, like you see things and you kind of know of the story.
Right.
So I don't. But I've never read the book, so I don't know if those things, those plot points, fall into the book as well. So it's like, well, I know why he doesn't really talk about women
right.
if it holds true to the book. You know, if
Got
the
it.
movie holds
Got it,
true to
got
the
it.
book,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Interesting.
So it's like, trying to separate the two.
Which movie did you watch?
The one with what's his name? Keith Sutherland.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I say.
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's interesting.
And
Why?
the Cardinal was played by It. The guy who played It originally.
Jim Carrey?
No.
No.
Did Carrey play It?
No. I'm thinking.
Tim
Curry.
Yeah,
Curry.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was close.
Yep.
Damn. It. Oh, you know what's funny? I saw this meme. It was like, you can judge a person by where they know Tim Curry from.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's like It or Rocky Horror
Rocky Horror
Picture
Picture.
Show or Three Musketeers.
Uh-huh.
Like, they had all the different roles that he's played over time, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, that's how you judge someone.
Now I'm gonna have
Like,
to look at that meme.
How do you know Tim Curry?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Well, we can't be friends. Toby, you're being pesky.
Oh.
My bag was taken. What?
I didn't know they made it 3 Musketeers in 2011.
I didn't know that either.
I vaguely remember hearing.
I vaguely remember 2011.
As a whole year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dennis.
Yeah.
But I already want to watch it.
Why?
Why?
Remember talking to the mic?
Because
Sean Connery.
no Sean Connery.
Oh, okay.
Mad Mikkelsen.
Ooh.
Ooh, plays who?
He plays Count.
Dooku.
Actually.
I mean, he could. Count Rochef. I believe that's the mysterious gentleman.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen can play a mysterious
Oh yeah, for sure.
easily.
Well, we never did the.
Well, we're not there yet.
What was it? The movie that we were all gonna watch, The Count of Monte Cristo.
The Count,
we
yeah.
never did that, but we could. Maybe have like a summer series where we watch the movies
Yeah,
for
we
the
should.
books.
Yeah. The Duke of Buckingham, Mr. I'm going to profess my love over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hilarious who's playing him.
Who?
Orlando Bloom.
Oh, interesting.
Do you know why I find it hilarious?
Why?
Because we just watched Troy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And he makes the fucking
Orlando
dumbass.
Bloom also in that is a guy who plays a guy who professes his love
Yes.
and starts shit.
Yeah. Well,
He's the one who
he
steals
plays
heaven.
Paris. Yeah.
that's right. But you know,
He must really like those roles.
That's
I wonder if it's close together, the years.
That's his thing. I'm young. I'm handsome. Look at my hair, and I love your daughter.
He's like, I'm pretty, and I want you to love me because I'm pretty.
That's right. It's raining. Look at my hair.
Yeah, right. Favorite part so far? Big intrigue. Favorite characters. All the things.
Of course, you like the Musketeers. I like the dueling.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing I most can't understand, or not most don't tolerate in these books.
Start that whole thing all over again.
The thing I can't tolerate mostly in these books,
okay,
with like in the French in this kind of time, is that we always seem to find these long, drawn out. I'm staring at you.
Mm-hmm.
You're staring at me.
Yes.
It's quite tense.
Yes.
But nothing's happening.
Because the tension.
That's right.
You can't break the tension.
That's right. Someone's in the garden.
Someone's in the chair.
That's right.
So you enjoy this book where it's like, oh, you looked at me funny? I'm gone!
That's right. That's right. And I think the first thing that made me think of you is the charging.
Yes.
What?
Esteban is always telling me to charge someone in my car.
Revving
speed. And it's like, as soon as the charge, it's like, Esteban's gonna love it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, now that we got to that part where this dude, like, weasels his way out of getting the Musketeer to go through the prison system.
Yeah.
And I thought of you, I'm curious to see where that character goes and see. I'm also curious to know what happens with Athos.
Mm-hmm.
Athos. I don't know why I keep having a hard time remembering exactly what his name is.
Because there are two of them with names that begin with A.
No, I keep thinking of him as Atlos, or like
Oh, okay.
I keep hearing his name in my head with an L. I don't know why. Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking about aloe vera? Are you trying to plant some?
I'm kind of dry.
I'm curious to see how the hotel owner, what do they always refer to him as? The Monsieur. But they refer to him as something in particular.
Well, his name starts with a B. It's like Baltos or something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the end of his conversation with the Cardinal, he's praising the shit out of the Cardinal.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Cardinal, after he leaves, is like, now I have a man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that guy,
Mm-hmm.
that guy's going to complicate shit. Because at first, like when you meet him, you're like, oh, he's just a scared husband.
Right.
And then you feel a little bad because this guy just turns him over to the cops. You're like,
You know who he reminds me of? The character from, the Weasley character from the other book that we read, the Count, the one who ends up owning the house with the wife who's manipulative.
Damn it.
Fernand.
Yeah,
Yes.
he reminds me of Fernand, just a little less Weasley.
Yeah.
And I think he even narrates the character similarly. Like, he gives him a little bit of the weaselness.
Well, I think he's going to get more Weasley.
Yeah, probably.
Because the more pressure he gets, like, the worse shit comes out of his, brain. Because I don't know if he's saying this out loud. Because at first it's like, oh no, I'm in jail. Oh no, they've betrayed me. Oh no. And then they start telling him, like, oh, you're here for treason. What has my woman done? Women are weak. It's like,
right?
Like, this immediate, like, nothing is wrong with him.
Right.
It's like everyone else.
Right. But he also even does it, like, when Mr. Nice Teeth shows up, and he's like, that was the one who stole my woman.
Right.
And then they're like, this gentleman. He goes, no, it wasn't the woman. It wasn't this guy. In fact, looked nothing like him. I'm like, come on.
Well, he went. Not only is he's like, it's this guy. I could pick him out of a room of 1,000 men.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, this conversation's over. You know what? I may be wrong. I was squinting.
You know what? Actually, now that I get a good look at him, doesn't look anything like him. And it's just within the span of like a minute, he went from positively IDing a man who looks like one of 1,000 to saying absolutely not some other guy.
But that's why reasonable doubt in any situation is like so like powerful. It's like, are you sure? And it's like, no, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
It's possible. It's very possible.
Like, he was basically just kind of throwing out feelers at every point. He's just like, he would say something, and then if he got a bad vibe or felt like his, like, a facial expression changed, like, actually, no, I changed my mind.
So by the end of it, he's like, Cardinal, you're the man. I love you. God bless you. May you live forever. And he's just throwing his praise, and Cardinal's just like nodding, like,
Darth Sidious, yes.
Good.
Pet my hand, yes, kiss my ring.
Good, get out. So I'm curious to see when he pops up again, because I know he's gonna ruin some shit.
Well, he's free now, I think, right?
Yeah,
like
he's free.
The cardinal released him, so now he's gonna go home and find his wife, I presume.
Right.
And D'Artagnan, who did do what he said he was gonna do, and the cardinal informed him, like, well, you made a pact with D'Artagnan, and he actually did it. He went and he like sent a bunch of my guys fleeing, and he like freed your wife. But now he's got to go back and do that. So I wonder, A, if he's going to hold his end of the bargain and not charge dude rent, because he said he wouldn't charge him rent.
I think he's going to do exactly what the cardinal thinks he's going to do.
We're wondering that.
he's going to play the good guy with D'Artagnan, and he's going to feed all this information to Cardinal.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to be bad, he's going to give up his wife.
Oh.
I fully expect him to turn on his wife.
Well, at this point, she's more trouble than she's worth.
That's right.
But again, I'm curious, like, with the wife, every time she says this one line, it irks the hell out of me.
What?
I can tell you my secrets, but that is not my secret to tell. Like, goddamn woman.
Well, the interesting thing is when D'Artagnan was having a conversation with her husband, and he tried to say something similar.
Yeah.
He pushed, and he's just like, well, I can't help you unless you give me all the deets.
Right.
But every time she says it, he immediately backs off, and he's just like, oh, well, I can understand if you can't share that.
Well, you know, you can't push a woman. You can stab a man.
Yeah. I guess.
True. That, and at least towards the end, in his mind, he thinks he can go to Athos' house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where the other lady was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same handkerchief. He's like, you know what? All right, Athos, you hold the secrets? We're going to talk.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll confront them.
Oh, he's good. Man,
Of course.
D'Artagnan.
That's D'Artagnan's thing.
Oh, I have a question for you guys. Speaking of tact, there's a phrase that Atmos Atmos. It's not Atmos. It's Athos. Used several times when he was referring to D'Artagnan, which is he's got the largest forehead or the biggest head of all.
He has the highest head. It's the phrase. He has the highest head.
I just picture like a big ass forehead. So
You
what the
think
hell is that?
D'Artagnan looks like Ryan Reynolds?
I honestly think he looks like a
Like a Klingon.
Inconceivable.
Well,
that's what I picture. He said it like 3 times in a row, and every time he said it, D'Artagnan's head just got bigger and bigger.
well, every time he says it,
Maintain no tones with me.
he's referring to certain things going on.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, when D'Artagnan turns the guy over to the police, but doesn't start a fight.
Right.
What he's trying to tell Porthos is that D'Artagnan can see the bigger picture.
Right.
So, you know, if your head is higher, you can see more.
That's right. When they go low, my head gets high.
Where Porthos is down here, so he can only see this much of the picture.
Got it. Because he's small and round.
That's right.
Anyway, yeah, every time he said it like 2 or 3 times, and I'm just like, I just picture like his head just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Big
And I'm
Canadian
like,
flag, yes.
what's happening here? I knew it was a phrase, but in my head, that's just the visual that I got when I heard it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, is there anything else you guys wanted to chat about?
When Athos is talking about, because for me it's hilarious, because Athos, he's actually the one who's always trying to say like he doesn't do the things with the ladies.
Right.
He's like, it's bullshit because he's going to become a priest.
That's right.
Not a priest,
An abbé.
An abbé.
Oh.
But none of them believe him. Like, motherfucker, we know the kind of guy you are.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's probably got women chained up in your
So
basement.
That's exactly why I need to become an abbé.
So he goes
For
to
the ladies.
So he goes to visit a guy about a book.
Right.
And the guy's niece just happens to be there.
That's right.
So because she's there, he has to.
Mm-hmm.
He has to walk her to her carriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how this guy jumps in. He's like, "Oh, she has a carriage."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, well, the whole time, like every single time he says something,
yeah.
she just
It's
like
like,
jumps
oh.
in.
And everyone's just like, "Shut up, Porthos."
Yeah.
He's like, but come on, she's got a carriage, man. You know what that means.
I feel like I'd be Porthos and those kinds of be like, oh, so she got a carriage, huh?
That's right. You're acquainted with this guy?
So,
Have you been in this carriage?
Is it spacious?
so he talks about, because he has seen the dark gentleman with the scar as well.
Yes.
Because they tried to arrest him and the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Because the girl looks similar to the queen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, so they confuse you for the Duke, but you don't look like the Duke. He's like, you know, they couldn't see me.
He said I had a giant cloak.
A giant cloak because, you know, to hide his musketeer thing.
Yes.
They're like, in July?
Yes.
Why
And
you
what
wearing
about your face?
What about your face? He said, I was wearing a giant hat. It's like, in July?
Tell me more.
What were you hiding?
Yes.
Exactly.
So do you think he was fibbing, or do you think he was actually wearing that preposterous cloak and hat, or?
I think he's involved in the situation with the Queen, which is why he tends to hide.
Oh.
Got it.
He hasn't let the other guys know in
And
because
he's also the one that no one knows what his house looks like, right? They were saying like they only imagine because
Right.
they've never seen his house, they've
Correct.
never seen inside it.
which is where the guy was heading to when the lady goes up and knocks and another lady opens the door.
Right.
Ooh.
But I wonder why he would go there. Because he was in the hood, or?
Yeah, he said that was the closest house.
Got it.
So he figured, let me just check anyways. And remember, he says, he's like, we kind of knock, but he's almost never home.
Or so they think.
Or so they think.
Oh.
But it sounds like he's involved in this. And why would the other Musketeers not be involved as well? Because technically, the stuff the Queen is doing would get anyone involved beheaded.
Mm-hmm.
And those are his boys.
So what is she doing?
Treason.
She's hanging out with a pretty British man.
Ooh.
By herself.
Oh.
I
That is
guess
both
that's
immoral and treasonous.
Informal, I guess.
Treacherous.
That's right.
Why, because he's British?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
He should at least be a Frenchman.
Yes.
At the minimum.
At
That's
the
right.
minimum.
The French only cheat on their wives and husbands.
This is taking place in France, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm. Yes.
So far this book has been great.
Yes.
We've got violence, intrigue,
Yeah, it's
That's
good.
right.
I'm enjoying it.
handkerchiefs.
That's right. It'd only get better if there was sex in it.
There might be some.
I'm sure there might
We'll
be.
get enough time talking to Porthos, I'm sure we'll get
That's
to.
right.
There's a lot of reference.
That's right.
Wait, the one that we haven't talked about at all.
Aramis?
We
No.
talked about Athos, Porthos,
Aramis.
Aramis. We haven't really talked about him at all.
Because he's the quiet guy.
Yes.
Right.
He's the one that in his house he has the sword that Porthos always wants to borrow,
Yes.
but he won't let him borrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
Well, they go into it because in his house it's a small apartment.
Ah.
Like there's not a lot.
That's right.
It's very simple.
That's right.
There's a very, very, very fancy sword
Mm-hmm.
with a very fancy coat of arms.
Oh.
That looks like a royal coat of arms. But
Oh,
Aramis
that's right.
won't tell anyone
Where he's from. Or,
anything about it.
Yeah,
right.
he's basically, I'm trying to think.
Very tight-lipped, this Aramis.
Yes.
The Abbé
As
is
an
from
Abbé should be.
Winterfell, like Targaryen that didn't want
Yeah.
to talk about his background. That's kind of what that reminds me of.
Right.
These priests, they're very tight-lipped,
Yeah.
as we want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a lot like the way they're referring to it. They feel like he comes from a noble line
Mm-hmm.
because he also won't give his last name.
No.
Right.
Like he won't. All they know of him, Aramis.
That's right.
And that's it.
That's right. You don't have to know my government.
Right. In fact, he's the one who gets arrested.
Mhm.
It's Aramis. And when he finally actually tells the arresters his name,
Right.
they ask him for his last name, and he's just like, Aramis. Like, he won't even tell the police. And
That's
they're
right.
like,
That's right.
He's the one that gets arrested in
Right.
D'Artagnan's house. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and he's just kind of...
And it's like, oh, am I? Well, I must because you said so.
So,
I'm enjoying it. I like it. I like the book so far.
Yes. So we're looking forward to part 2.
oh,
Yeah,
yes. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Because the plot is thickening quickly.
I think we have done a good job this time.
Yes.
We've kept our tangents very low.
Yeah,
Totally
I mean,
will.
considering we've only done 15 chapters and we have a substantial amount to talk about,
Yeah.
I'm quite happy. Because sometimes we go off on tangents because
Yeah,
there's not much to talk
yeah,
about.
we're
with
filling
the-
holes that are
Yeah,
we
like
left.
Moby Dick, for example. It's
Yeah.
just like nothing but tangents.
No,
the whole
but Moby
series.
Dick left a lot of fodder for tangents. a lot of fodder
That's
for tangents. Yeah.
That's true. Any last notes before we close up?
Please follow us on social media.
Instagram, Twitter, Old Books Podcast.
Yes. Did you ever find out if we're on like Stitcher or anything like that?
Stitcher.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
Stitcher.
other platforms.
Yeah, we're on other podcast platforms.
Other podcast
Yeah,
platforms? Oh,
we're
okay.
on like eight different platforms.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean
Oh, okay.
are the ones that I think are some of the most popular ones.
Oh, okay.
Android podcasts.
Yeah, some people just have preferences as to where they listen, so
No.
just get one of different options.
Yeah.
Just find us. We're there.
Yeah, and we're on that. We're on the Boomer platform. You might know it as Facebook.
Yeah,
Yep.
we hardly ever. I never go on Facebook though. I personally just don't like Facebook. I haven't liked Facebook for years.
Well, Boomers like books, so do what you gotta do.
Whatevs.
Yeah.
Reach out, comment. If you have questions, if you have feedback, let us know.
That's right.
We look for engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get better at posting more frequently to Instagram, so
Yes.
hopefully.
Don't make us start using bots.
I've been thinking about it. Anyway, thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
If you want to support the podcast, you can pause this and share it to someone who likes Three Musketeers and
In
would
fact,
be interesting.
We make you. We dare you to.
Yeah.
Dare you
Dare you
to
to share this podcast.
D'Artagnan dares you to.
Your friends are sitting at home. They have nothing to do. They don't want to talk to their children either. Make them listen to books via us.
Right.
That's right.
We're actively recording this during quarantine.
Yes.
But I don't know what the state of the world will be like by the time this is released.
The world will still be here.
I don't know if it'll still be in quarantine or
Yes.
not. Either way.
It doesn't matter.
Hope you're staying safe. I hope
We
that you're staying sane.
We were podcasting before. We will podcast after.
Right.
That's right.
And also, we're officially over 20 episodes.
Oh.
Well, by the time this comes out,
That's right.
Yeah.
I think we'll be over 20
That's
episodes.
right.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
Oh.
And you can watch us on
Yeah, I always forget about that thing. We're
Yes.
recording video, so
That's
if you
right.
want to see our faces and see us talking to each other in a somewhat adjusted quarantine-esque kind
That's
of
right.
more distance between us situation,
Yes.
you can watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, and keep the comments about the podcast.
Yeah.
Not the video. The actual sound. The sound is what we care about.
Yeah.
The content is what we care about.
Yeah.
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 If I cut my hair funny, and then you're looking at
You
the back
don't
of my
have
neck for a
hair.
long time,
YouTube.
don't worry about it.
Alright.
No, I'm gonna usually shave my head. I just didn't do it this time.
All right. Well, we're signing off.
That's right.
Thank you.
Apparently, it's National Covered Cashews Day.
Chocolate
National
covered.
Chocolate Covered Cashews Day.
Where am I?
All day.
Cashews.
Yummy.
All day.
Mm.
You failed me.
Good fats and bad fats all together.
Yummy.
Mm.
All right. We out.
Later.
Bye.
Okay, 4 tangents.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Pause the iPages.
I am paused.
And then hit done.
I am done.
This one saved as Jerome Avenue 3.
How was that?
It's
good.
good.
It was fun. Just like the other ones.
According to this, it was an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Same hour,
Dominican?
4 minutes.
Hmm?
Hour 4.
Dominican, I've charged you with putting away all of these contraptions,
The little ones.
the little ones. Whilst I...
I'm glad we got that through early, because I have people who are waiting for me to take them up on an offer.
Who?
People who owe me dinner.
Us?
Yes.
Oh. I'm like, are you leaving?
Not until after dinner.
Why are you throwing things on the floor? Not until you had dinner.
Yes.
Here, baby, you can chew on that now.
She's like, I'm no longer interested in it.
Toby, that's not how that works. You got up, you left the spot, you let her have it. So, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad,
Don't be douchey, Toby.
I mean,
Nobody likes douchey Tobies.
douchey Tobies.
That's right.
I don't like douchey Tobies.
You know what douchey Tobies do? They make Spider-Man 3.
Yeesh.
See?
Dennis,
Yes.
if you could be so kind, there's these two little round black things over there.
Mm-hmm.
You tell him.
What are you growling?
These are not round.
Yeah, roundish.
They're quite square and rounded edges.
Round adjacent.
What? Whatevs. Oh goodness. Meow, 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 meow.
I think he's trying to bully her off of the thing.
That sounds accurate. Toby's a jerk.
And she's just like looking at him like, what?
You tell him. You be your own boss man. Be your boss man.
Like, she hasn't budged an inch.
Nope.
Well, that's why we
She doesn't
took her
even-
home, because she was ignoring this tomfoolery.
She doesn't even look
I'm
like
still
worried.
connected to microphones? Yes.
Every time I come over here, I crave
Taco Bell?
no,
What the?
never crave Taco Bell. I like my anus too much. Insomnia cookie.
Oh, yeah. I piped the tables through under the table, including the one to you. I think I'm gonna keep doing that because I like that it
Hides
leaves
him?
the table less cluttered with wires.
Yeah, it was good.
You know how you hate clutter.
I don't like clutter. Toby, are you gonna take your seat back, or are you gonna keep growling toothly at her?
It's just gonna keep
I'm
going.
waiting to see how this develops.
Toby is not an instigator of violence.
So he would be
A bitch.
Athos? No. Atlas? Who?
Yeah.
Why do you throw things around?
Yeah. Right, Fridge, time for you to come back to life.
Which is the mic that doesn't work, do you know?
My anus.
Did you confuse him already? You're a jerk.
I was trying to help.
I know. I kid. A little bit.
So how have Nate and them been during this
I
isolation?
haven't seen them, but Nate's fine. He's with his white lady.
Who's got a lady?
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a green card marriage. But,
What?
yeah, she needed a green card.
But you said she was a white lady.
Yes, from another country. They do that now.
So she's from one of those countries that Trump likes.
Technically,
The non-shit.
not one he's mentioned. I think she's from one of the fatherland countries.
Fatherland.
Yes. The third father. The third one. Christ. She's from not Slovenia. Where's she's from?
Slovenia.
No, it wasn't Slovenia. That's where Melania's from. She's from Bulgaria. No,
This was
she's from-
Oh, oops.
she's one from one of those weird